Okay, so today on the 12th of November, this card has come up before in this yoga class. I don't remember how long it's been, but this is from the Archangel Animal deck by Diana Cooper, and it's the parrot. And if you can see, I put up the mandala behind me so that we can have the colors of the parrot on here. So anything I read, and it's all about parrots are fifth dimensional beings, which just means that they perceive from their heart. And so they're here to mimic us and get our attention and teach us how to do the same, how to listen with our heart. So we'll ground and listen with our heart. So let's begin just seated where we are. Just make sure you are comfortable in a place that you can maintain. And of course, you can always shift your legs if you need to at any point in time. And I was going to pull the shades, but it's kind of interesting. I feel like there's these little light beings behind us here in this little area. And I thought, oh, that looks pretty cool. I'm going to leave that there. So let me know if the reflections from the sun prohibit you from being able to see clearly too. So we want to see from the heart. All right, so let's begin with the breath. As always, we begin and end with our breath. So let's begin this class with the breath. Breathing it into every cell in your body and letting those cells know that you are aware of them, that they have your support, and then they can relax and you can relax. And we can feel the gravity below us, the solid ground. And let's attach a grounding cord from the sit bones through, there's an earth star chakra that's 3 feet below us in the ground, and then all the way to the center of the earth. So you can either visualize a cord, feel it, or just make an intention to make that connection, whether you feel it or not, or see it or not, just make the intention. And breathe into that intention to ground yourself to the center of the earth. And then becoming aware of the sky, the air around us, the sky above. There's still some wind going on today, but just being aware of that wind, yet at the same time being aware of our connection to the center of the earth, so that we are strongly grounded, but there's also a groundlessness to us. Which Pema Chodron says the ultimate grounding is understanding groundlessness. So there's a balance between the lack of grounding and the solidness, the air, the element of air and lightness, and the solid earth, the rock. And then the elements of fire and water. The fire in the belly, the water that our body contains. And the colors of the parrot. See if while your eyes are closed, if you get a sense of a dominant color. Breathe that color into you. So the sole mission of the parrot is to carry and radiate the light light and lessons of the archangels through their glorious colors. Wherever they fly, they leave a trail of beautiful angel energy. While parrots are in a physical body, they are using the opportunity to develop their skills. They can utilize tools to demonstrate to us that birds are clever. Their remarkable gift is the capacity for mimicry. They can copy human voices, animals, and other sounds, a talent they have cultivated by listening intently. Parrots remind you to listen with your heart and your ears. They are teaching humans to heed keenly all that is happening around them. So keenly listening with our heart, understanding in a fifth dimensional way from the heart what we're listening to, what we're hearing. So breathe that intention into your heart, into every cell, or any other intention that you would like to make for this class today. 3 strong breaths. Extending the inhale and the exhale. And then if your eyes are open or closed, let them open. And see, make the intention to see through your heart, or see through your eyes with your heart, from your heart. So bringing the information that you're receiving right now around you into that 5th dimensional capacity that we have. See, listen, and hear with our heart. And then keeping that, remembering that connection to your grounding cord at the center of the earth, let's just roll around it. So the grounding cord comes from the sit bones to the center of the earth. Let's just make a circle around it like we are the earth rotating around that axis that's at her center. We have the same at our core. And then go in the other direction. And then stop in the center. If you've been sitting with your legs in the same position for a while, shift it. Take the other foot in front, or if you've been sitting on a block, maybe sit cross-legged. And let's just touch the ground with our fingertips or our palms in front of us. And just make that resolve to feel from the heart throughout this class. Perceiving not through language, but through feeling. So when I lived in LA in the 90s, I had to study A Course in Miracles just in order to go out the door every day. And one of the things that it said was, we perceive either through love or through fear. So this 5th dimensional perception is about perceiving through love. And you can walk forward if you want to, and investigate your forward bend. Keep those sit bones grounded, maybe a little tuck in the chin. Find the length in the back of your neck. And then come on and roll back up, and let's continue with that roll with the shoulders up, back, and down. And then the other direction, forward, down, and back. Daisy's having Shavasana on the couch, so she's going to hold the space for us. Okay, and then let your shoulders drop down And then with your nose, just draw a circle in the air. And make it a small circle or a big circle. And then take that circle around in the other direction. And then let's come out of this seated position and come onto our hands and knees. Spread your fingers wide, make that same connection. You have these little grounding cords coming from your palm, like where your arm, where your wrist bends. And make that connection, and little grounding cords at the base and the tips of the fingers. And then let's start to roll the hips around the knees. And then roll the other direction. Still having that strong connection to the center of the earth, rolling around our axis from a different viewpoint. And then let's just take the hips back towards the heels in child's pose. You can tuck your toes under if you want or not. Reach your arms out above your head long. If your forehead can touch the ground, let it. If it can't, perhaps you have a block available there. We'll just take 3 breaths here in this child's pose. But keep your arms extended, so keep it kind of active in the upper body with child's pose. And really ground down those sit bones towards the heels. And then if you've got the toes tucked, untuck them, and let's walk the hands over to the right. And then you'll really press down on that left sit bone. So ground that left sit bone. If the forehead can touch, ground the third eye. Find something, even if it's just a pillow or something, to ground your third eye. So it makes that connection with the ground. And then over to the other side. Ground the right sit bone now as you reach towards the left. Open the rib cage, breathe between the ribs. Include that connected tissue with your breath. And then back center. Let's come on up, back up to table pose. And then roll all the way down to your belly. Keep your palms right beside you. Let your forehead touch. Let's engage the tops of the feet with the ground now. Have a couple breaths here. Spread your fingers wide so you still have that nice connection with the palms. And then from there, let's just take a little baby cobra. You can lift your hands or you can keep them on the ground. You can lift your legs or you can keep them on the ground. Keep it small. If you have the hands lifted, maybe you can do a little wave like you're swimming. It's just sort of waving right and left. And then palms back down on the ground. Take your forehead back down to the ground. Tuck under the toes. You can come up through table pose, or if you're ready for a plank, then you can come up to plank. Let's take it back to downward facing dog. The first down dog of the day, so let it move. And then let's ground both heels down for a couple breaths. Let your head release. So give your head to gravity. Then breathe into your heart, lifting the sit bones. Remember those little grounding cords in the palm, at the base of the palm, and at the base and tips of the fingers. Okay, then let that right heel sink down. Lift up the left leg and let the knee lift. Either keep it you want to draw circles in the air with the knee, just do a couple circles, since we seem to be circling around a lot. And then lift that knee up high if you've been doing circles and bring that left foot forward. You can take the knee up or down. I'll let you do that. Now I'm going to use blocks today. I'm going to keep my knee up and use blocks. This is a really, really great option for this. And then from here with the knee up or down, we're just going to straighten the front leg. So we'll move in and out of the extension of the front leg, the forward bend, and the lunge. I like the blocks because you can come up a little bit higher and you have a little bit more space in your joints and the hip joints. And then let's hold the forward bend. Let your head go. Let it reach towards that shin. And then bend the knee again. Come up a little bit higher. See if you can find your balance before you lift your arms. Take your hands off and then lift the arms. Let the shoulder blades ground down now. Still have that solid connection from the center of the earth. And what happens when we really feel that connection is that we draw energy up through the core as well. And it connects us to the sky, to the sun, to source. And exhale, bring the hands down. If the back knee is lifted, let's take it down. And then if you had a block or two, you can put it up towards the closer to the front of your mat. Bring the left hand to the inside of the left leg, maybe move it over a little bit. You can turn the left foot out a tad if you want. And come onto your palms. You can do this on a block too. You put your palms on a block and we'll just bend and straighten the arms. Just a little push up to ease us into this pretty intense stretch for the hips. And then if you want to come to your forearms, you can. If you want to pause on your palms, just keep it there. Use a block or not. And then put your palms on the ground if your forearms were down. Take the block away for a moment. Tuck under the back toes. Lift up that knee. Put the heel down. Let's walk to the long side of the mat. You can bring your block if you want to for your palms or not. Sometimes I like the block there for my head too. So let's do a forward bend. It's great to have the block for your head because then you can kind of relax into the forward bend and you could do it at any level. Or not. Maybe that's not for you today. Maybe you just want the head to hang. But the top of the head having a grounding is very nice. Speaking of grounding, let's ground the outer edges of the feet. Lift the sit bones. And then come on up halfway. This works better with your hands on the ground. Turn the toes out so that they're at the corners of your mat. And we're just going to bend and straighten the legs, going back and forth. Some of you like to pick up your hands for this. And some of you like to pick up the opposite heel. I don't do that because for some reason my heels are very sensitive to that move. Then let's pick one side to pause on. You can keep your hands lifted or you can take them to the ground. Just explore that connection between whatever side you're on, that leg and that hip. And then let's take it over to the other side. Gently. And back and forth a couple more times just to level everything out. And the next time your knee is bent towards the front of the mat, move the toes towards the front of the mat, come into your lunge. Take that front foot back, lift it up again. This time, lengthen the leg. Take the bend out of the knee as you lift. And then put that foot down. You can stay here in a down dog. You're welcome to move into child's pose, or if you want a vinyasa. And then we're going to come into down dog and we're going to sink down the left heel now and let that right foot reach up. And this time, bend the knee, open the hip. You keep the hip open, or you can circle the knee around. See what the side wants. Stay grounded on that left heel for now. Reach that right knee up high. Come up tall on the left heel, or the left ball of the left foot. I don't know why that didn't come out. Bring that foot forward. You're probably a few steps ahead of me here now. So see if this side wants to back knee up or down. Do you want blocks for this? If you have them. Okay, and then let's move from straightening the leg, the forward bend, to the lunge. The energy of the heart lead the movement. The more that we can practice this physically, the more we can practice letting the energy of the heart hear what we're seeing, perceiving from the heart instead of the head. Most of the time, the perceptions we have in our head have been given to us by ancestors. Okay, so let's straighten, stay with the forward bend and let go of the head. So front leg is straight or towards straight. Breathe into the back bones. And then bend the knee, back into the lunge. Begin to lift yourself up. You've got that balance. At the arms, let them lift. Shoulder blades ground down. Front of the heart lifting up. Forward, down, or up. See what your neck is telling you it wants. It says look straight ahead. It makes me think of, I can't think of the guy's name. Look straight ahead, nothing but blue skies. No, I think so. Anyway, down. Bring your hands down now. And let's move the blocks out of the way. If you've got them there, let's take that back knee down and move that right foot over a little bit. Turn the toes out. Then you can bring your block if you want it and put your hands on it, or you can have your hands on the floor. We're just going to bend and straighten the arms before we go down. Opening up the hips. And when you are ready, take your paws on the forearms, on the palms, on the block, on the floor. And breathe. Switching sides so that when we go to the next move, my butt's not in the camera. Okay, so let's come to our palms then. The block, if you were using it, take it off the mat for now. Tuck under the back toes. Lift that knee, put the foot down, walk to the long side of the mat. And let's just enjoy a forward bend again. If you want the block under your head, you can put it there or not. And then just a little movement in the hips, right and left. I don't know if you can see this, but it's a very small movement. Just kind of opening up those hip joints because we're going to move into a twist here. Send some breath as you're moving. And then come up halfway. Again, you can use the block if you want to for your right palm. You can keep it on the ground. You can take the right palm to the outside of the left leg. Left palm starts on the sacrum. See if you can turn from the heart and then adjust your left arm up, down, or around. And pause, breathe. Breathe in the colors of the parrot. Remember that color. If there's a color that you saw during the meditation, you might want to look that up and see if that's associated with a certain archangel. And if you're not into archangels, it's okay. Just look at the quality when you look up. You can Google them and it will tell you their colors and their qualities. Okay, and then come on up to the center. Left hand on the floor on the block or to the outside of the right leg. Right palm on the sacrum. Turn your heart up towards the sky. Adjust your right arm. Okay, and then come back to the center. Let's walk back to the front of the mat, back to the lunge. And then we're going to bring that right foot up and back, and then it's going to lift up tall now. Take the bend out of the knee, just lift that leg up. And then let it come down and see if you want to stay in the down dog. Take a child's pose, move through a vinyasa. And then let's come back to the ground. So down onto your belly. Either turn your head to one side or you can make a little pillar. And you can stack one palm up on top of the other and let your forehead rest on that platform. And breathe with the earth. That grounding cord now is coming from your belly straight into the center of the earth. Let's pick up the feet. Just bending at the knees and let the feet roll side to side. Be nice flex in the feet, so activate the feet and the calves. And then put the feet back down. And we're going to do a little one-legged frog here. So let's start with the left leg. And you can just bring it out to the side. Maybe it comes to 90 degrees. Maybe it does a little bit less. If that doesn't work for you at all, just bend that right or that left knee and put the foot up towards the ceiling with a nice strong flex and just activate that. So either out to the side in frog or the foot comes straight up. And turn your head towards the knee. That's the most relaxing for your neck. And if your neck is tense, then that joint, the hip joint, is going to have a harder time letting go. That's true about anything in your body. The more that you can relax everything, the particular joint that you're working feels that and takes that cue. While you're there, I'm going to read a little bit more about the parrot. Let's keep breathing. When you receive this card, you are being asked to listen with your heart and soul in order to understand what people are really saying. Use all your senses to know what they are truly imparting and what is going on inside them. You may discover more than you thought possible. So all your senses, what are they truly imparting? And that goes back to what I was talking about with the Course in Miracles. Are they coming from a place of fear or love? Just understanding that will help you understand why they're saying what they're saying. Okay, then forehead back down. Bring that leg back in. Let's pick up both feet and take them side to side. And then release both feet down. You can either keep that right, you can either lift up that right foot if you're taking that option and make it strong towards the ceiling, or you can slide that right knee out into half frog. And then turning your head towards the knee or keeping your forehead down is also good for this. So the next part says you are also being reminded that the archangels work through color. When you wear a bright color or choose one for your home or workplace, the angels can radiate their light and their lessons through the vibration. So each color has a vibration, and whether you're not into the archangel, just understanding the vibration of the color is a really good tool. So you are on earth to learn everything you can while in a physical body. So take every opportunity that appears and hone your gifts and demonstrate them whenever you can. Okay, let's bring that right leg back in. Lift both of the feet again. Take them side to side. Okay, and so from here, if you want the back bend that we did earlier, if you want to just lift the body up from the floor, that's fine. If you want to keep your knees bent and take hold of your ankles and flex your feet, then you can move into bow pose. If that's not your thing, just either pick a different back bend or rest. You can also roll over and put a block underneath your back. Underneath your sacrum, I'm sorry, not your back. Take 3 more breaths, whether you're resting or still in the back bend. Breathe deeply 3 more times. And then release. Maybe the feet want to go side to side again. Maybe you just want to rest. You can also just put your feet on the ground, let your hips kind of roll side to side. And you can roll over on your back from here. All right. On your back, let's just move the feet wide and let the knees come together. And take kitty's pose for a moment. Just let the back of the heart, now let's ground the back of the heart into the center of the earth. Grounding cord is already there. It's coming from the sacrum now. It's going to shift positions. And now the back of the heart. And even the back of the head. A little tripod of 3 grounding cords that as they meet and come together, they reach towards the center of the earth. And staying with that awareness, let your shoulders relax down. You open your arms out, or you can have a bend in the arms with cactus arms, or you can take them up over your head. And then open up your knees. Let them begin to roll from side to side. And then right side with the knees, let them stay there. You want it to be dynamic. Again, if you want to warm up, you want to choose the dynamic vibration of when we pause in the pose. So that would just basically mean where you are reaching your arms up over your head. Whereas the resting pose, if you want to cool down, would be more of a cactus arm here. As you know, the bottom foot can come to the outside of the top leg if you haven't done that already. Okay, then both feet back down, take another roll with the knees. And when they are ready to land, let them go to the other side. And pause. Again, dynamically reaching or resting. Even if you're dynamically reaching, what can you relax? The face. Thoughts. Body starts to relax, the thoughts begin to relax and release their grip. So the heart speaks the language of the breath. Heidi reminded me that I said this in one class, and I had no memory of this, but she said that sort of the theme was to breathe in strength and breathe out the bullshit. It's just that's her mantra. So let's do that for another breath. Breathe in the strength, the warmth, whatever you want to breathe in. Breathe out the bullshit. Okay, it was probably during the siege on the Capitol. Was, I don't know, something I sort of sensing that was what I was talking about during that time period. Okay, let the knees roll side to side. And then pause again, and let's bring the knees in. Let's first start with them together and just hold on around the shins. Let the arms hold the legs and the legs hold the arms. Feel those 3 grounding points, back of the heart, back of the sacrum, back of the head. And let the breath relax you into the solidness of the ground. So the air balancing with the solid. And then let's extend the right leg out. Let it come all the way down to the ground first, and see if you can pull that left knee in a little bit closer. If you can't, no worries. Now make a solid connection with the back of the leg on the ground and flex that foot, that right foot. And then take the left foot up towards the ceiling. Let's make a little circle with the ankle, 2 or 3 times one direction and then the other. And then you're just going to land with your foot in that flexed position on the left and the right side. So one is reaching up into the ethers, into the air. The other leg is solidly grounding. So feel that balance. And then take a little lift, perhaps with your upper body. You can reach your arms out. You can take them up higher on your left leg. The right leg now stays grounded, but it can lift from the ground, feeling that grounded groundlessness. Round the muscles and towards the bones. And then both knees in, hang on. You can either rest, you can circle the knees around the hips, see what your body wants. Then bring those 3 grounding points. Sacrum, heart, head. And let's take the left leg out now. And extend it on the ground. Make a nice solid connection. Back of the leg grounding. A million little grounding cords on the back of that left leg. Then take that right foot up. And let's circle the ankle 2 or 3 times one way. And then the other. And a nice strong flex on both feet. Balancing the air with the earth. Let's get some fire in the gut now. And lift up. Let your blood travel as you breathe. Maybe the bottom leg lifts. Stay strong in your breath. Feed the fire in the belly. Strong flex in both feet, circulation, water. Then come back down. Rest or circle your knees around your hips, whatever you want. Okay, so let's open the knees out wide now. You can stay holding onto your shins, or you can take your feet up if you want a dead bug pose. You can roll side to side, or you can stay still. And then come to stillness if you're rolling. See if you can extend that right leg a little bit more. If you're holding on to the shins with this, you can just extend that leg and hold on to the back of the leg. If you've got hold of both feet, gently extending that right leg out to the side. It's kind of like a little bow and arrow here, getting ready to shoot. And then bend the right knee. And see if the left can extend. And then just a movement back and forth, bending and straightening. And then let go of the feet. See if both legs can straighten. Make them nice and strong. Point the toes down towards the ground if you can. Reach your arms through the legs. Maybe you want to keep yourself grounded. Or maybe you want to lift up with the heart and the head. Breathe into whatever choice you're making. Do 3 more breaths here, wherever you are. When you come down, we're going to release the legs up and together and take the upper body down. Press through the bottoms of both feet. Legs are shaking, let them shake a little bit. And then bend the knees, let them come in, take your resting pose. You can put the feet on the ground, or you can hold on to the knees at the shins like I am. Okay, so let's put the feet down onto the ground, and if you did that, you can roll over onto your side. We're going to come up into boat pose. So another way that you could get into boat pose is just by rolling onto your back, holding onto the backs of the legs. So strong core helps us ground. So let's work on that strong core. So taking that boat pose, you can hang on the back of the legs, you can extend the legs, you can keep them bent, reach the arms out. The most important thing, I think, for boat pose is that the heart is lifted so that you're not rounding your back into this, because you want to engage the core. So like someone has a string on your heart that they're reaching up. You may have to bend your knees a little bit more. Get that. Let the shoulder blades go down the back. And bring the feet down to the ground. Let's open the knees out. Keep the feet together so that you're in a couplet pose here. Sit bones out from under you. Put a blanket underneath you if your hips are, I've got a strong reflection on me here. Here we go. So if your hips are way back, you're leaning and you feel like you've got more of a cat tilt than a dog tilt, then put a blanket underneath your hips so that you can begin to have more of a dog tilt here. And then move into your forward bend. See if you can stay with the dog tilt. Maybe only move an inch or two. Give it some breath. Now the focus of the grounding is at the sit bones. Okay, and then come on up and let's open the legs out. So same thing we did while we were on our backs, but we're going to do it with our sit bones connected to the ground. Now, a block or a pillow or a bolster or something would be great for this. Let's engage the legs. So flex the feet. You can come onto your forearms, onto a block. You can stay on your palms. Again, if you feel like you're in that cat tilt, put that blanket underneath your hips. And get yourself more in a dog tilt with your back. And then just breathe into your forward bend. See where your breath takes you. Listen to your body with your heart. Let go of any thoughts that sound like your parents or sound like disciplinary or sound like, oh, I got to get to a certain point. Let go and just breathe and be shown. Allow the pose to happen. Let your body show it to you. While listening with your heart. So when we go into Shavasana here, I forgot that Jack was here. He's off school today. Miguel's son, 13-year-old, and he kind of has a lot of energy and he might come bounding down the stairs. So it's not quite time for Shavasana yet, but when we get there, I'm going to mute so that does not happen. Okay, let's come on up, keep the legs out, and let's take the right arm to the inside of the right leg and just take the left arm on your hip for now, and then turn your left hand on your hip. Turn your heart now so that it turns towards that left foot. And then you can decide you can reach the arm out or you can take it up beside the ear. You can also move your hand down. Maybe you can take the toes, the first two toes with your fingers And we're just going to lean towards the right. So this is not, your heart is facing out. So this is a side bend. I like the feeling of the grounding with my hand on the ground better, and then I can take my lower arm against my leg and press the leg against the arm, and then the heart can actually turn more towards the left and look up. Heart can turn left and look up. Okay, let's bring that left arm around now to the inside of the right leg. Take the right hand to the outside of the right leg. And then we'll move the heart now towards the knee, towards the shin or the thigh on that right side. Still sitting on that blanket if you need that extra lift to help lengthen the spine. And lift up. And let's take the left arm to the inside of the left leg. And you can hang on to the toes if you like that option. Take your right hand to your waist first and turn the heart more towards the right. And adjust the arm. It can reach out to the right or it can reach up towards the right ear. Grounding both sit bones and lifting tall out of that grounding. And then if your palm's on the ground and you have a nice connection with the thigh and the upper arm, then push the thigh into the arm and the arm into the thigh on the left side. So the heart can turn a little more up and to the right. What was that movie? Back and to the left. And then talking about Kennedy. Something from the 90s. But we're going up and to the right instead of back and to the left. They were talking about the projectile of the bullet. Okay, and then we're going to turn towards the left leg now. Turn the heart towards the left and walk it forward here. Both sit bones stay on the ground. See if you have taken some length out of the spine. See if you can find that length in that space. Maybe you need to come up higher. Breathe into that length, into that space. And come on up to the center. Roll the shoulders, legs together. Let's just take them straight out, both feet. Tall in the spine. And then if you know your back can roll down from here and it's okay, then do so. If you need to put a bend into your knees, put your feet on the ground and let's roll down. And we can move into Shavasana, or if you would like to have an inversion before Shavasana, you can take legs up the wall, a block underneath the sacrum just for a minute or two if you want to that option, or if you're ready for Shavasana, please take it. I'll just read a little line from the tarot card, and then I'll mute myself and I will come back. It's time to awaken. So I already read this part, but it's pretty important. When you receive this card, you are being asked to listen with your heart and soul in order to understand what people are really saying. Use all your senses to note what they are truly imparting and what is going on inside them. You may discover more than you thought possible. So there's an eclipse season. There's an eclipse coming. We are in the eclipse season. There's an eclipse coming up next Friday. We will be in it. So I will be focusing on that. But in the meantime, the astrologers are saying it's going to be really important to connect with your heart. So that's why I'm working with the parrot today. So enjoy your Shavasana, and I'll be back. So listening if you can hear the wind outside, knowing that you are grounded in those three places: back of the heart, sacrum, back of the head, to the center of the earth. Breathe into that knowingness, listening with all the senses to what's happening around you as you come out of Shavasana. And I have the image of the parrot, if you would like to see it again with the colors and their hearts lit up. And it says, listen intently to understand. So let's bring that into our hearts. And thank you all for being here. Lots and lots of love to everyone. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you, Melanie.
Thank
You're
you.
very welcome.
Thank you,
Enjoy
Melanie.
your weekend. Yes. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.